Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another recording session of Hearthstone. Yes, that's what we're playing, Hearthstone. Let's get into it. I'm flying blind today, so I need to look at the clock. I don't even know if I started the recording right. I don't even know if I started the recording at all. Also, I've been busy apparently, and I didn't do a great job curating my quest here. So we only have a 40-40 and a 40. Tavern Brawl's coming back in one day, so we can't do anything with that. We're not gonna do any arena runs. We can run here into the shop real quick and make sure everything's still on sale. They haven't banned anything yet. I have a fear that they're gonna do that really fast. I think the overlap here is Shaman, and we need to do 100 damage, so we'll just play a Shaman. And that should be it. I have like a few more days, I think, until this ends, and I don't think we're gonna make it to rank 19. I really don't. In fact, even if we made it to rank 19, that's really just a personal goal we have. It's not going to significantly help me get back up to rank 20. It doesn't. We have no idea what happens when Wild and Standard comes out as far as ranked, but I have a suspicion what's going to happen is we're going to end up having to play twice as much ranked just to maintain, or abandon all of Standard play and only play Wild, or abandon all Wild and only play Standard. And I don't know which one I'd want to pick there. I think you have to play Wild, don't you? But maybe you don't. So I've been playing Hexcells, Hexcells Plus, and Hexcells Infinite. And Hexcells was a decent 2-hour game. Hexcells Plus started getting on my nerves because it went from really easy demo puzzles to really hard and long puzzles. Some episodes I did 4, 5, 6 puzzles in like 30 minutes. Some episodes I took an hour plus to do one puzzle. It's really extreme. There's only like 36 puzzles in Hexcells Plus, so that in itself makes for a frustrating inconsistency in the puzzles. Unlike, for example, the tutorial puzzles in The Witness. That's really what Hexcells needed. It needed tutorial puzzles for its 5 or 6 concepts it ended, where you do one and then you build on the next one, so it's the next one's a little bit more difficult, then the third one's a little bit more difficult than the second one, and on and on and on. And it builds on the concepts and enforces that you know actually what you're doing. And it really doesn't do that. You get like one tutorial thing that very simply explains the concept, and then they'll throw you into an hour-long gigantic puzzle. I'm on the last puzzle now of Hexcells Infinite, but Hexcells Infinite does have an infinite puzzle generator, so that does actually mean I think I probably will keep it installed on my computer and play it every now and then. Maybe. I don't know. It depends really if I've run out of stuff to do or not. There's an achievement for doing 60 random puzzles on the Infinite thing, and I would like to pull that off. I think that would be that, because that's a game that if you get 100% achievements on Steam, they actually count those, and that's really the only metric that is counted. Let's see, what do we want to do? Let's just do this and this.
Job done.
It just powered up this guy, not even paying attention to them, am I? So, Yes, I have the final game, and then I'm gonna do one of the random games on Hexcells Infinite, and then I'm done with this series. It's taken way too long. It's taken 3 or 4 days to play something that should have taken at most 3, probably 2, ideally 1. And Hexcells Infinite just throws ridiculously difficult puzzles at you for no real reason. It's just, we're gonna make it more difficult for the sake of it. Here we go. But we killed this guy. In general concept, I like the game. I like it. It's just, it's unpolished a little bit. Well, it's not unpolished. It's very polished. But it's lacking some feedback I would expect from other games because it was only made by one person. I'd like some, like, more reward, more motivation. What I keep on saying is that it fails to emotionally manipulate into feeling like I'm having fun, into feeling satisfied because I solved the puzzle. It just doesn't pull that off at all. After I solve one puzzle, I just feel dumb. Part of the problem is that you are only allowed to make one mistake before it doesn't give you all of the collectibles. So 2 mistakes on something, like this final puzzle had like over 150 potential mines, since it's like Minesweeper, that you needed to flag, and you could only make 1 mistake there. And often you'll get in situations where there's only one piece of information that will tell you which one is a mine. And if you don't see that, which you often will not see it, or I often will not see it, I should play this first. Man, playing everything out of order. Let's see.
Tusk!
Job done.
So, yeah. So you just feel like you have to guess. And I could never get proof. I could never see an exact situation where it said, absolutely, you had to just guess here. I don't think any of the puzzles actually require the guess. But what they do is make it, they exhaust you mentally so badly that you'll want to guess. And I've kind of just mentally checked out on it. Now, Hexcells Infinite actually helps a little bit with this because you can save your progress, where the first 2 games you couldn't. So as soon as you exited in the first 2 games, you were just out. Hey, let's see, can this work? If we did 5 plus 6 would be 11 plus this. Will that work? 5, 10, 16. Hey, there we go. That's 1/3 of this done, 1/2 of this done, 1/2 of this done. I really don't have anything to talk about besides Hexcells anyway, so it might be nice to just make one recording for this recording session and be done with it. We're at 7,300, that's nice. If we get, we'll get another 120 here, that almost guarantees we'll get 75 packs when the new expansion comes out.
Thrall versus Uther. I will fight with honor for Doomhammer.
It kind of sucks that we end up not playing Arena as much as we should. I probably should have kept that too, shouldn't I have? Oh well. We turned that around. I don't think with the wild and the standard arena runs are gonna become that much more desirable. They're already desirable. To spend 150 to get potentially some gold and a pack is probably better than
Mind if I roll need?
that. If I was a better player, then it would always
One
be
day I'll be
advisable
a real knight.
to, let's see,
You face death.
it would always be advisable to play arena over buying packs, but right now I'm actually not getting return on my investment because I usually only get 1 or 2 wins in an arena run.
Reporting for duty.
You know, it's probably an awful thing to say, but honestly, if these new changes drove away a significant amount of the better players in this game, that would make a better experience for me. It would totally. If all the good players on Hearthstone just says, forget this game, we're gonna go play Magic the Gathering online, or which half the good players that are streaming or pro probably do play both. I saw a GIF of somebody playing, what were they playing? They were playing StarCraft and Hearthstone at the same time, just alt-tabbing between the two. There you go. Now you can't kill that guy.
We're using real swords.
But yeah, for me, if all the good players went away and I was playing against just people who have no clue what they're doing whatsoever, it would be really nice. And it doesn't mean they have to leave the game completely, because then that would probably kill the game. So, I mean, it would make Blizzard lose interest in making new cards. When Blizzard loses interest in making new cards, the game starts becoming pretty stagnant. Pretty much that is the reason for Wild and Standard right now, is that usually by a month or 2 into a new expansion, people have 4 or 5 of the best decks that you could possibly make, and that's all they play. And this is where the Yu-Gi-Oh cartoon and eventually the Yu-Gi-Oh game, since the cartoon was just making it up as it was going along, this is where they really, I think, benefited in the cartoon, is because every episode it was just some new BS card that was not power balanced at all. That totally would win the game for whoever was playing it. Well, usually for Yugi, because he was the hero. And that's kind of what I want in a card game. Is I just want there to be so many cards that a combination of 2 or 3 of them does have this BS effect that you couldn't have even expected. I want to be surprised by it.
Put this apple on
And the
your head.
only way you get anything close to that is simply by putting out more and more cards. So the only other thing I could think of doing to fix that and get the better players away from me is to hopefully standard casual will be just the worst of the worst players. But even when we play on casual, we don't always win. And we should be better than average. We should be running 60-70% at least. Because I think part of that is because regular players are actually still playing casual. They just don't want to play ranked. Well, let's see. I can do this.
I enjoy
And
raiding.
then this. And then I can kill this guy.
Job done.
And then the turn. And I'm not really suffering from like the legendary best player ever in Hearthstone. I am never going to run into any legendary people at this rate. Because I'll never get up to legendary, and only legendaries are ranked with legendaries. The only argument I can validly make is that their general level of being so good at this game and having all the right cards is increasing the general skill of everybody else to the point where everybody's getting better. Which is kind of what you want. You want to play with good players, but it's kind of not what I want. I kind of want to play with AIs that are dumb as dirt, so I win more. That was one of the things I had to say about Hex Cells, is like, I can't get in the mind of the creator of the game, but I kind of have this feeling that he is either ignorant of what good gameplay design is, as far as slowly increasing the difficulty, or he's ignorant of the fact that his
Fine, I'll want.
his puzzles are too difficult, or he just, in his own perception, because he's made the puzzles and knows the answers, obviously, thinks the puzzles are really easy and everybody else is probably an idiot. And either way, that's not good. Now, you can pretty much guarantee what I just said is applicable to Jonathan Blow in The Witness. He absolutely thinks he's smart and deep and intellectual. I have seen, I mean, that's what Braid really was all about, hiding some story that people have to dig through, and I'm still not sure what the consensus of the story is for Braid, because he doesn't want to tell a full story. He wants to only imply one. Darn it. Well, I think I lost.
Fine, I'll want.
Job done.
Yep. Oh well. The Witness could have been so much better. I mean, I'm really getting bitter about it. It could have been so much better. Really could. If it just had the other elements that are required for games, it would have been so much better. But for somebody on top to say, no, I don't want to have a story. No, instead I want to just have these excerpts of reading. And there was a story in it at some point, and because I watched Giant Bomb play it and kind of interview him, and even in his interviews, he's being resistant to tell the things that he should say. Like, he did an AMA on Reddit, he did this interview, and he's like, and they're asking him, has everyone found everything? And he goes, I don't know, I haven't been watching anybody play.
My
Do you
greeting.
know the number of the puzzles that are in the game? I don't know. There's been so many changes. I mean, come on. This is basic stuff. And he just doesn't want to tell you. He wants people to keep on guessing and keep on playing. I wouldn't be surprised if after a certain point there is something else that does unlock, and that point is probably going to be that you have to play the game for like hundreds and hundreds of hours or just leave it running. Mist Runner. This is an interesting thing. Mist, M-Y-S-T Runner. Mist is of course correctly spelled M-I-S-T. So he's effectively saying he's playing the game Mist and he runs through it, which is about the worst way to play Mist possible. You run through a puzzle game, and well, I mean, after you do it the first time, if you're a speedrunner, that you could do that, but you're really gonna miss all the ambience and intrigue. Mist being close to what the Witness tries to be would have been a way better received game if it was released today by today's technology and all of that. Now, I can say that the Witness is not going to take up that, in my mind at least, a one puzzle game per 20 years thought that I had. Because it really has been probably 10 to 20 years since there's been a new Myst game. But if they came out with a new one tomorrow, I would be fine with it. I'd be totally happy with it. And I'd play it, and I would get only probably extremely good comparisons to the Witness. Because I am pretty sure they'd put some story in it. I'm pretty sure there would be some characters in it. There'd be some interaction. There'd be some more interesting things. I think Myst probably did it more interestingly. I don't know if it does it better with the puzzles, because in Myst you only really touch upon one puzzle once, and some puzzles may build on other puzzles, but you don't end up with line puzzles all over the place. But yeah, think about the Witness. Just get back to it. The statues never get explained at all. There's no explanation. Why there are puzzles on this island never gets explained at all. Because they're completely artificial to the rest of the island. The island might as well almost not exist. It's two ideas combined together. Let's see. Don't die this time. How about that?
By the power of Ragnaros!
And there was nothing you could have done at the end of the Witness to turn me around on the game, really. There needs to be something all throughout the game. Some story, some motivating factor. I mean, if you were a real person, you woke up on the island in the Witness, by all means, you might just sit down and enjoy the sunset and not try to do any of the puzzles. There's no reason to do them all. Or you might just get frustrated with the puzzles and say, forget it. Or, more realistically, if you're a regular human being, you'd probably start fishing and trying to find shelter and food and just get basic needs dealt with. There's nothing telling you to solve any of them. it almost gets to the point where the real way to win at
Did you bring some fish?
at the witness is to never play the witness. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, it really irritates me about that game. I was pretty irritated with Braid too, just because of the high difficulty spike at the end of it. It's just, it got really difficult, and that was the first series I've ever played, and I think probably the only series I've played up to this point where I'm just like, I can't do this on screen at all. So it would be a cursed attempt, but an interesting attempt if I was to go and try and play Braid again. And then all of the audio got content ID'd, which was amazing, and I didn't know how to deal with content IDs then, so I deleted that whole series and never published it, which is fine by me because it was going so badly. Really my first failure of covering a series, and my only failure of covering a series now. I mean, when I'm playing Hextech here, I'm probably failing at the end here. These last few episodes have probably been nothing but failures, but yeah, I'm still gonna publish it, and I'm just gonna criticize it for my experience that I have here. Have with it. Yep, I'm gonna lose.
Well played.
So I'm looking at the clock. We've probably gone about 26 minutes. My cell phone battery didn't seem like it was calibrated, so I calibrated it. I kind of had resolved never to do this because I used to do it like once a month. And I'm experimenting with different things, trying things that people say absolutely shouldn't work, but the way I'm using my cell phone is so strange. So I'm leaving it plugged in almost always, which they say just wears down the battery. In my experience, the batteries just die after a year or two anyways, regardless. That seems to be the truth for all lithium-ion batteries, is that regardless of the charge, regardless of anything, they seem to be designed to just completely fail where they are. Let's see. Guess we'll get rid of this one and keep the other. So I have a battery calibration thing that deletes the internal data of the battery for Android phones, and then you charge it to 100%, delete the data, and then you let it go all the way to 0%, and that's where it is right now. It's somewhere around 0%, and then you have to want to charge it all the way back up. So just a full charge cycle versus a bunch of little charges, which honestly I'm thinking, and I've heard everything from everybody as far as lithium-ion batteries. The truth is they suck. They're not good, and we need better battery technology. But people in general say you don't want it to go below like 40% or so. And a bunch of little charges is way better than one big charge. Of course, I've heard the exact opposite said by people I trust a little bit less, that say actually you want to go one big charge and not a bunch of little charges, because there's only so many charges in the lithium-ion thing. And then what I'm doing now is trying to is playing with the concept of the battery having elasticity, like a rubber band. So I'm trying to stretch it out as much by going from 100% down to 0 and then back to 100% to keep the battery in good shape. And again, none of it's gonna work. The real solution is quite easy, actually. What you do is you always buy a cell phone with a removable battery, and always plan, if you're going to keep a cell phone for more than a couple of years, to just buy a second battery to replace the other one. And then what will happen is you'll have two batteries, and if one's a real dud, you can't use it at all, that's a shame, but not a big deal. If one, but if they're both decent, then you're still gonna be fine. Oh, this sucks. I thought these were totems. I was hoping to power them. So there was kind of no reason to use that card. Not paying enough attention, obviously. But because my phone went all the way to 0, it's now charging in off mode, which is probably another thought, is how the battery charging chip that is probably very, very standard for phones and devices in general, how that reports back to the higher level of the operating system. May be slightly different than how it reports back to the basic operating system that it's in when it's off, technically off. It's never really off. If you want something really off, you have to pull the battery and discharge any capacitors or any internal batteries while you're at it. Yeah, I don't think there's a real reason to play this, so I'll just end the turn. So the only feedback I'll get is once it's charged, after about 2 hours, the light will go green and I'll turn the screen on and it'll say 100% charged, hopefully. Let's see. I think I need to do this. And
elements I like, totems I love.
And then that's an 8-8. Why did I kill that guy? That was dumb. I should have played this. That was really dumb. Why am I not thinking straight at all? Gain control of an enemy minion?
Not quite what was planned.
That was a strange move. There you go. We'll do this and then this. Yeah, that is definitely not quite as planned. Next turn I win. My first attempt to even attack on the 7th turn. 8th turn I win, almost certainly. Unless he can do... Even if he did 3 damage, he's only gonna kill 2 of my guys. I guess he can do as much as possible trying to restore his health.
You have been.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna help though. I was gonna do this, and then I was gonna try and power this up. So what do we need now? We just need a massive beatdown on damage. So who we want to play as? I think we just kind of want to play as the Warlock. And I just want to keep going on this episode. We may just go long on this episode because that's 2 of the 3 quests. The 3rd quest is all we gotta do is do face damage, so quickly try to work that out. Oh, the sitting in a chair is killing my back, literally. I mean, I can't do it. I'm gonna have to take a few minutes and just redecorate my room and get rid of this chair. It's so awful. I mean, I'm lying down to go to sleep and I feel like I'm potentially gonna break my back. And that's really stupid to just keep doing it. But right now I'm still sitting in the dumb chair. I need to get it all. I need to just get rid of it all. Go back to sitting on the bed with a bunch of pillows behind me, my back. I don't know why that reclined position works better for me, but it seems to do. I greet you. Hello, hello, hello. It's just... But yeah, it's not good. On top of hurting my back, it's killing my butt. And it's not like this chair is really lacking for cushioning or anything. It's just, I don't know. I think I'm so unhealthy that even the little bit of sitting up is hurting. I'm also probably hunching over, I guess would be it too. Maybe I need to lower it. Let's see. Let's try that. Yeah, let's just go really low, and then I won't be hunching over as much. I mean, it's so silly. Now it's as low as it can go, and I'm a really tall person.
What's the flight plan?
In fact, just like a few days ago, somebody said, "You're so tall," and I'm like, "Yep, I'm tall." So why would lowering it help? I don't know. Well, it might be partially because of the desk. The desk I'm sitting at is not really a desk. It's more of a tray table type thing. It's not a tray table, but it's a tray of some sort that designed to go under beds, I believe. So,
stay on target.
anyways, it's too high, I think, and it isn't as adjustable. No, it's as adjusted as low as possible, actually.
Stay on target.
So that's a question mark too. Is like, if the tray table's as low as possible, and I have to lower the chair, what is just going on here?
It has.
Why am I hunching forward? Part of it is getting frustrated with hex cells, definitely. I'm sitting there, getting up here, and I'll lean forward and make cracking sounds, which I don't know if it records those or not. I haven't mentioned them because there's nothing to say anyways about it.
Right on time.
How about that? Yeah.
Stay on target. Locked on. Stay on target.
But yeah, once I get back to a controller game instead of a mouse game, that would be a little bit less work with the mouse would certainly help. Making progress on time clickers.
Handle it.
Not still really anywhere close to being done with it, but I'm playing with things and trying different things. Let's see. How do we want to do this?
Right on time.
Heal this one up, kill this one. Do I want to kill this one that gives adjacent ones +1/+1, or this one that kills everybody? Does
Stay
+1/+1.
on target. Stay on
I think I
target.
want this one out. But yeah, it would definitely be nice to get back to a game. I think I need to do Lego Batman. I think I need to probably just make a real focus on this. Pexels Infinite has really put a kind of strange maneuver into the You Don't Know Jack series. I don't know if we're ever gonna go back to it. I didn't wrap it up. I didn't do anything more with it. I have plenty of other You Don't Know Jack games too. So it's all this strangeness. Draw a card. Play this. Play this. End the turn, I suppose. If we control a mech, discover a mech, let's try that. Costs 1 less for each card in the opponent's hand. Whatever friendly mech dies, gain +1. I'll take this guy. I think this needs to be on the field before its ability activated, though. Let's end here. Hopefully, I don't die this turn. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 19. Seems like he can take me out. Yeah, it seems like I've lost this.
Well played.
Oh well, so we've gone about 40 minutes here. I would normally end the episode probably right about now, but we just need 30 more damage to the face. And I'm probably playing as the wrong character to try to do 30 more damage to the face. I'd have to win this game completely, or they'd have to heal or do something. Things like Reno Jackson, I guess, slightly changes that quest.
Gul'dan versus Throw.
Because potentially you could do 59 damage with just Reno Jackson and still not win a game. Well, and win the game, actually. Keep Demolisher, keep that one, get rid of that one. We don't need it at the beginning. We definitely don't need that at the beginning. So yeah, I'm gonna run into Lego Batman 2, record that. You Don't Know Jack probably will come back. It kind of depends. A lot of it just depends on we still have no solution on this dialysis thing. And frankly, it was scary there for a moment that the dialysis thing wasn't going to be an issue because the patient was just going to straight up die. But fortunately, they recovered.
Job's done.
The danger is very much there, though, that they're gonna die, and that puts me in an incredibly terrible position where, after having spent a year as a YouTuber trying to find some other form of employment to make enough income to pay bills that I can't afford to pay right now, because if this situation did happen right now, I certainly am not making enough from YouTube to fix it. In fact, if we want to get back into money, at now 14 months into it, I've technically made $60 in ad revenue. It's still going up and up and up. That's great. But remember, YouTube only pays you when you make $100. So potentially halfway through 2016 or later is going to be the first time I even receive one check from them. And that's assuming there isn't some other thing happening. Something else doesn't go on. See, this is a mech and this is a mech. That means this is not going to work well. How about this? And what do I want to do?
Right on time.
I guess that.
Job's done.
So, I mean, I don't want to get to the point, but if they did die, I mean, I'm straight up begging. I'm begging now and providing content. If I need actual cash, I'm gonna have to straight up beg from somebody, and I can certainly try to get a minimum wage job somewhere, even though I definitely shouldn't accept any minimum wage job. And that would be a huge pay decrease from my last non-YouTube career. But those are the ones that are willing to give you employment within a short period of time. Everybody else wants to wait and decide and think. Cost one less. Summon a random 2 cost a minion. How about an alarm bot? It would be really nice if support as far as ad revenue, it would really be really nice if donations came in. I mean, I only have like 50 subscribers too. And I see all these people that make these videos like where's the fair use campaign stuff, all of that. And it's a good idea, but half the time I think these like YouTubers that are making these videos are doing it just to get more ad revenue on YouTube. I mean, I totally agree with everything they're saying, but for instance, there was this one guy who says he's a lawyer and talks about how he thinks we could sue YouTube for not actually upholding fair use or trying to defend it at all. And then at the end of the video, he goes, but I'm a criminal defense lawyer, so I don't know anything about civil law at all. And I'm like, well, so you're just a layman as the rest of everybody else, and you came in here and pretended like you knew something or could say something, and really you don't know anything different. So, yeah, I mean, I hope the where's the fair use thing really does turn around and do something, but I don't think it really is. And I don't want to jump on that bandwagon. I'm a video game critic. I'm not sitting here, it's not my job or my desire for it to be my job to sit here and try and correct or fight with YouTube. this. Let's play this. And let's get rid of this. I'm not doing any damage to the face though. That's really why I should be pouring my energy. I need to do 27 more damage to the face. It's very rare that that works. Here.
I am ready.
I could play this, it would do 2 more. 2 damage kill there. Let's see. This. Hit the face. Hit the face. At least we'll get some damage in there. So, yeah. I don't want to beg, but it would be really nice if I could gain popularity. If I could have a solid fan base. It doesn't have to be, I mean, if it were 1,000 people, if every video was getting 1,000 views, or 1,000 views within the first week, that would be nice, I guess. If every video got at least like 50 thumbs up, just because there was a consistent fan base that wanted to support me, if they really watched the video all the way through, I think my videos would start going up and up and up, and it would gain momentum, and then that would be fine. If I had a Patreon, which I don't right now, but if I got donations, and they were all along the lines of just even like $2,000 or $3,000 a month, that's more than enough for me to live. Forget about fantasies I've talked about where if I made $1 million I could live off that for the rest of my life. That is certainly true. I could, as long as I don't go crazy with it and live the same frugal lifestyle that I live now.
I can fix anything.
But 2,000 consistently at least gets me further ahead, and then lets me keep going. Ideally, I would want to make a little bit more than that so I can start saving. I mean, they say you should have 6 months of 6 months of your income and savings, and nobody has that, obviously. So many financial advisors says you should have at least 6 months of your current income and savings, and then recently there was an article that said 80% of all Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. Now, I don't know how useful that information is, because if you include like all kids in that 80% of Americans, it sort of makes sense that they would have less than 1,000, doesn't it? But if you're not including kids, then it doesn't. Then if you're only including adults between the age of like 21 to 100 plus, that's a lot sadder. Almost, I don't know what the numbers are there, but at one point, almost half of all of America's population was people under 21. So, depending on how you do your research, this How do we want to do this? This
Yeah.
needs to get rid of this. And this,
I'll
I guess,
fix
needs
you.
to get rid of this. And get rid of this one. Do damage to the face. Darn it. That's the problem with that card. It makes a mech, but it's not a mech. So I should have probably killed it somehow if I could. I don't know if I could have. But yeah. Financial stability and security would be very, very nice. Let's see. Give a friendly mech one or have taunt. I'm just gonna take this, I guess. Take this again, why not? Let's hit the face. Hopefully hit this guy. Oh well. Well, that sucked. See, I don't have control of another mech, so playing this will really stink if I have to play this, but I guess I could play this now. They did enough damage to my face. Do I have any card in this deck that would do 1 damage to everybody? I don't think I do.
You shall not pass.
Reporting for duty.
Is there anything else going on? Nope, I just need to finish Hexel's Infinite. I've played a lot of it off screen too. To get all the collectibles. So I'll play it once, make so many mistakes, and then have to play it a second time. And at this point, I just cheat. Just straight up cheat. Get it to the solution, take a picture of the solution, turn around and put it back in. Right. This, and then this. I think I'm probably very close to having done 100 damage, but if I win this or get him down low enough, I think that will guarantee success. What I'm trying to do with this is get the legendary one. Here we go. Play that, play this. What else do I want to play? I'll take this. Draw a card here.
Job's done.
End the turn. Well, this will do 1 damage and get rid of 3 of them if he kills this guy.
Handle it!
But I also have a theory he's just gonna do all this damage to me and win. Yeah, so I'm gonna power through Lego Batman 2. After that, I think Mirror's Edge is gonna be right in line. Hearthstone, I'm making consistent videos with that anyways. How many more do I need? I think we'll just play until I've done enough damage to concede. Huh. It's crazy, but just as a time-saving measure, I think I'll do that. I need 10 more damage, though. If I can just get that and pull that off. Up.
Gul'dan versus Garrosh.
Victory or death! Your soul shall be mine!
Probably need to do Sam and Max at some point in there too, don't I? Yeah, I think I do. So it may go actually something closer to the lines of Lego Batman 2, because we know that's going to get content ID'd by WB and they're going to claim every 5 seconds of music.
Well played.
One thing about that where's the fair use thing is they said, and I don't know if this guy knows it's true or not, says he can that they can set what percentage of their song has to match, and that they should use a 90% standard, and it seems like the content ID people can claim a much lower percentage. And it's a little confusing too, because the standard he was talking about, is that the video and the audio must connect. So for music, that's already out the window, because even if the audio does match, there's no video to match. Or if somebody mutes a video and sticks it up on YouTube, and the audio doesn't match, or somebody takes like the what is that, Dark Side of the Moon?
We must cleanse
YouTube
the
video
sunlight.
where they take a Beatles album and play it to The Wizard of Oz. I mean, neither the song nor the video then would match, and I don't think Content ID owners would count that.
Just me and Mr. Right.
Would think that was okay to put up all of their songs and it not being eliminated completely from Content ID by default just because there's no video with it. On the other hand, if you were to take a movie, I mean, Dark Side of the Moon kinda is its own fair use transformative work between The Wizard of Oz and that Beatles album. Maybe. And what's odd is, in my mind, I could say it's definitely transformative from the movie, because you've taken out all the audio of the movie and are only showing the video. But it might not be transformative enough to the audio, because you're just playing all the audio with some images back. And in my heart, I would very much love to say both are acceptable, and thus all music videos that people make would be transformative enough to be considered fair use. But I'm not sure the courts would ever go that extreme on it. I mean, people that make AMVs, anime music videos, get in trouble all the time because they're using someone else's music, someone else's video, but it kinda is transformative, depending on whether they did a lot of edits or whether they're just changing. They're just showing one scene over one song. I think transformative is probably the wrong argument, too. I think the right argument is actually saying the game, the videos are distinguishable from the original, just regardless of whether they're transformative or not. Trying to make that argument probably doesn't really even matter. Just gonna hit the face so we know we get this quest done. Frankly, as far as my concept of fair use, I think almost everything is fair use. And right now the court system thinks almost nothing is. Or would tend to venture towards that. So everybody followed the concept that followed the argument that it was just distinguishable from the original. Dark Side of the Moon, for example, is totally distinguishable from The Wizard of Oz and from just listening to that album, which I wish I knew what the album was. I've never even watched Dark Side of the Moon. It would require sitting through all of The Wizard of Oz, which is not something I would be willing to just as a time management concept. I think I've won here and done enough damage to the face, unless armor doesn't count, which if armor doesn't count, that would be new to me. So the 90% thought where if somebody put a song in their content ID and 90% of that song is played throughout, it still doesn't really fix anything. I'm pretty sure, like Tales from the Borderlands, when they played their intros with their soundtrack music, and that all got content ID'd, I'm pretty sure that 90% of the song was played. And so it still doesn't feel like that's fair. You know, it feels more like what you would need to do is see, does 90% of the song get played in my video, and does my video have such a ridiculously small link to it that it's within 90% of the length of that song? Because even if I took two songs and played them back to back, then I think you've potentially made your own mixtape. And then that video is your own unique creation of this is my mixtape. But I still think it probably should fail for fair use, because I don't think it particularly is fair to the copywriters if you said, well, this is my unique mixtape and it has 100% of this song and 100% of this other song. But if it was only 90% of this song and 90% of that song and they were mixed together, then you've made some kind of crossover new mix, not a mixtape, but a mix of a song. So, and then you would get into obvious examples in which that is the case, and that would be fair use, is when you would take one song, fade that out as a DJ into the other song, then fade it back, and because both songs are playing at the same time, but we're only hearing certain volumes or certain percentages of each song, you've definitely created a new thing. So my personal thought there is, yeah, a 90% plus a 90% should be the standard, but who knows, who cares? YouTube's probably not going to do anything about it. It would be great if they did, if they fix the content ID system, at least get rid of it completely. Just get rid of it. That's all you have to do. I'd much rather be fighting DMCA takedowns, because I would never get them. I've never got one. I won't get one until I have hundreds and hundreds of more viewers. I mean, nobody will even bother, and then I can see them in court and I can sue them there. Anywho, that's gonna be it for this recording session. We did it all in one. We're 80 short of 7,500 gold. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.